Hey, what's up, guys? So I've noticed there is a kind of a brick wall somewhere between 2 and 2.5 million for contractors as they come up that has a unique set of challenges that need to be solved if you're going to get bigger than 2.5 million. Really, I mean, the same problems are found at 1 million and 2 million, 2.5. It's just they get bigger as you do more revenue. And so after working with over 60 residential general contractors in just the last year, I've seen a pattern. And that pattern is the guys that successfully get over that 2.5 million all have some combination of the following 15 systems installed inside their businesses. And so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Boland. I'm the founder of Remodel Commanders. We are a management consulting group specializing in residential general contractors. Our focus is taking guys from 250K to 2.5 million to 5 million to 10 million. In the last client poll, looking back over the last year, the average client increased sales by 685K, increased gross profit by over 10 whole revenue points, reduced profit slippage by over 5 whole revenue points, and decreased their average work week by 5.9 hours. Anyway, so let's rock and roll. This SOP right here. This is for anybody over 250K in sales. If you're under 250K in sales, you have an everything problem. You need to get out there, meet people, and learn how to sell. But over 250K, you have some semblance of a sales process. You have some form of lead flow or lead gen going. So this is for you guys over 250K. This could also be for people in the 3 to 4 million range who just got big by sheer force of will. And now they're having to go back and fix the problems that should have been fixed earlier in the company development. Anyway, this is for you guys under 2.5 million that want to break 2.5 million with a business that runs on systems instead of entirely the owner's time and direction. So the issues this SOP will solve. Number one, problems only being solved by the owner. Two, the owner has no time to recruit or train employees or sell more jobs. 3, this is going to eliminate cheap customers. 4, this will position your brand for the affluent customers who value things like speed, quality, experience over as much as or over price. And inside your company, if nothing happens unless you say it has to happen, it's going to solve that problem too. So let's start with marketing. The first system is the customer referral system. Now, what we're doing in the customer referral system is essentially just robotically hosting a really nice party whenever we complete a kitchen or a bath or larger, right? And I'm talking, meat and cheese plate, maybe some beverages. You invite the neighbors, they invite their friends, you invite current prospects in your sales pipeline. That's some secret sauce right there. And you bring in a professional photographer to take pictures of the now lived-in project before the party and during the party. You'd be smart to take that photographer and record an interview of the homeowner about how happy they are with the project. Maybe interview other people about their opinions of your quality. This is a way to just get dozens and dozens of testimonial videos and shorts and whatnot. And so again, what this is going to do is this is going to instill trust and excitement into your prospects, right? Because what do they all want to know now? I get this a lot right now. Hey, can we tour one of your job sites? Or hey, can we meet a recent customer? I'm like, well, I'm not going to do this as a one-off. What I would rather do is, when we're so in commercial construction, they have what are called capping off parties. So we'll do a cap off party and invite all the prospects in the pipeline when we complete a job. Problem solved. It's going to save you some time. So the second is a database referral system. This is a really fancy way of saying do a newsletter, right? Capture the emails of all of your subs, anybody that's ever passed you a referral, all of your leads, all of your clients, okay? But your newsletter, this is where everybody screws up. Just repeat after me. Nobody cares about me. They don't care about the human interest or the stories about the people that work for your business. They don't. Best practice here is to case study a recently completed project. What did the homeowner want? Why did they want it? What problems were faced? And what did you do to solve those problems? And then show before and after pictures. And then end the case study with an offer. That offer being to book an appointment for a free design consultation. Right, moving on. Third system, the realtor referral system. So here's the thing. Harvard did a study. I believe it was the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies. I could be wrong. I read so much. But the thing is, what they found is over 60% of remodels happen within 2 years of a real estate purchase. Who affects real estate purchases? Realtors. I know they're annoying, but you can use technology. Like whenever they ask for an inspection report or a bid for an inspection report, just know that they don't plan on getting that work done. What they want is a bid from you to turn around and negotiate a better price for the property they're negotiating on. Okay, so knowing that this isn't a quote, man, use an internet-based estimator. Someplace like Repair Pricer Pro will knock one of those out for you for $40. It beats the hell out of you spending 4 hours putting together a line item bid that's never going to turn to work, and it's going to build crazy goodwill at the realtors. So the whole point is we want to build trust, awareness, and social capital. What is social capital? That's when you do something for them, so now they feel obligated to do something for you. All we want is to be included in the conversation to compete for their clients' business. And what I found is for every qualified realtor relationship you have, you can count on about $250,000 of work per year. Moving on. Same thing with designers and architects. Same process, just different bait. Okay, the realtors want you to do inspection reports is something we can do for realtors. With designers, you could give them realistic pricing during the design process, as long as you're presenting the numbers to the client. That's a good way. But guys, nothing talks quite like money. So what I like to do with my realtors and designers is I'll do internet marketing, and for all the leads for my designers, for the leads that I can't get in front of, or let's say they decline me, I refer them to the designer, right? So now a designer has a choice between two general contractors. One is bringing them leads. The other one just talks about how he builds with quality. Who do you think the designer is going to think more of when it comes time to give a referral to bid the design they just produced? The dude that's feeding them. Anyway, moving on. So the warranty lead system, okay? 1 year, 2 year, I prefer 2 year, maybe even 5 year, man. 5 year would be ideal because your average homeowner stays in the house about 5 years. And so every 6 months you're showing up for an hour and a half to caulk some gaps, fix some trim, maybe fix some hinges, right? Just little stuff, fix some nicks, scratches, whatnot. And it gives you the opportunity to identify and cross-sell additional projects. And so what we're trying to do, so every 6 months we're inside the home, we're building goodwill, and we're getting the whole, oh, by the way, could you take a look at, you can inspect the house. You're like, hey, I saw a problem with your siding. Hey, maybe it's time to upgrade these windows. Hey, your roof has these missing shingles. Hey, your bathroom looks like it hasn't been touched since the 70s, right? Those are the kind of conversations you can have. And what I'm trying to, basically what I'm trying to generate is 10 times the cost of my warranty labor, which is going to be probably 1 to 2 hours for your inspections. Now, if there's a true warranty like fix, that's a different story. But this is for your regularly scheduled inspection. So, we're just trying to, whatever 4 hours is going to cost you, we're trying per project, we're trying to pick up 10 times that in additional work. Anyway, so the brand champion system. Okay. Now, in your sales process, I have this listed in marketing because the effect of the brand champion system improves your marketing. But during the sales process, let's say the customer is really, really, really digging your process, really likes what your system and your quality. They want to go with you, but man, they just can't get over the fact that you're X $1,000s more expensive than the other guy, and they just can't get off that. Okay, well, here's where you want to offer a discount in exchange for owner concessions. What kind of concessions? Like, hey, homeowner, and what I like to do is I will build in, so I'm going to bid a project at 42% gross profit, knowing that I can come down to 37% gross profit and still hit my net profit targets, assuming I am honest and I keep my overhead under 20%. Anyway, so for my brand champion program, it's typically set at whatever 5% is. That's the discount for the project. And then I tell the homeowner, hey, in exchange for giving me an honest review, maybe recording a post-project interview with me and allowing me to sponsor and cater a project reveal party, I can come off your $300,000 addition by 15 grand. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to generate at least one opportunity at rack rate from that brand champion program. Okay. So now moving on. So now we've those are the marketing systems to get above 2.5. Notice I didn't include anything about ads, like paid ads, SEO. There is no point, absolutely no point, to spend money on paid marketing when you have realtor relationships feeding you deals, and you turn around and recycle those deals by bringing in strategic design relationships who will then feed you their business. Now remember, we're looking for designers who are actively advertising. That way when we bring something to the table, they're bringing something to the table. Does that make sense? Paid ads, SEO, it's not needed right now. A nice website is, but paid ads is not. Relationships, professional relationships and referrals will get you above 2.5 million, no problem. So anyway, let's talk sales. The 2-contract sales system. What I want you to do is to stop selling $500 estimates. Stop selling couple $1,000 project professional service agreements. I hate that. That was invented by guys who have never been a general contractor. It's not enough money, and here's why. Because there's no way for you to control your design costs, because the homeowner, you can't control how many times the homeowner is going to change their mind, which is going to force you to have to reprice the job every time they change their mind. And you may say, well, I only give them 2 revisions before we charge them more money. And my response to you is, good luck telling an upper class, affluent homeowner they can't have something. They will fire you on the spot. Okay? So instead, you're going to sell either a complete design agreement if they don't have drawings, or a project development package to write the spec sheet and an airtight estimate if they do have drawings, plus also to correct the drawings. And we're going to structure this as a retainer. Okay? In Seattle, we're getting $265 an hour. With my virtual design team, I'm paying $65. With my in-house team, I'm paying $200. But the point is, I'm collecting $265 and I'm paying much less than that. That gross profit on the design deal, I'm trying to engineer to be twice the amount I have to spend in paid ads to acquire a contract. Only after you institute the 2-contract sales system does it make sense to turn on paid ads, because the marketing, basically the sales process, or the sales cycle on the front end, your design agreement, is going to be 30 to 45 days, meaning you spend money on marketing day 1, by day 45 you've got your money back plus profit, and you haven't done anything yet, right? This is the infinite money glitch. But I don't want you to spend money on paid ads until you have the 2-contract sales system in place, so that you have a way of monetizing these leads before the next credit card bill is due. Okay. So then the next system to get above 2.5 million, we call it lines. The line item numbers estimating system. Lines. Get your lines right. All we're doing here, guys, and a lot of you are going to start like, oh my God, what the hell are you talking about? No way. But I'm not a heretic. Hear me out. Look, just stop marking up your material. I still want you to hit a 40% gross margin or better. but I don't want you to show your material with markup attached to it. Show your material at retail, and then whatever additional markup you need to hit your markup target, spread that gross profit across Gen Cons. Okay, I don't know why there's coaches out there calling this cost of project execution. That's silly. Like in commercial construction, it's always been called Gen Cons, long before that phrase was ever invented. What are Gen Cons? That's your project management time, it's your supervision, it's your warranty, it's your logistics, it's your inspections, it's your porta-john, it's all the little things that you need to execute the project. Right. Well, that's not going to absorb all of that gross profit, right? So basically put as much as you can justify into Gen Cons, and then whatever is left over in that gross profit, spread that among the trades. Start with MEP, plumbing, HVAC, electrical. Why? Because those are licensed trades. Not a lot of people have relationships with those kind of trades. Don't just lazily take all that markup from material and then spread it across labor, because you're going to induce the homeowner to then tell you about their cousin who just got out of prison that can do the painting instead of you. Okay? Don't do that. Put it in the trades that are hard to have a relationship with. Okay? And so then with your trades, you're not showing your time. All you're showing is the takeoff, by line item for what goes into that CSI code, that trade, the takeoff for each line item, the quantity, right, of the material, like 1,000 square feet of flooring, 100 square foot backsplash, right, that kind of thing, right, and then you have all those different takeoffs, but one price per trade, right? That way you can't get picked apart. Anyway, and so what ends up happening is your margins are now protected, and so the homeowner to negotiate really only has two options: either add more money to their budget, or trade down their scope, or trade down their selections. I'm sorry, so three options. All right. Now the famous PDPM system that's fixed so many problems. This is how you get your employees to start thinking like owners and solving problems without you. The PDPM system. And it only works if you execute the compensation portion. It's not enough to assign the responsibility. You have to include the compensation model, or this falls apart. And so all you're doing is you're making the sales rep responsible for the customer relationship and communication all the way to final payment collection, in order to create top cover so the homeowner doesn't screw with the project manager. Right, so the PM is working with the trades, the PM's working the schedule, the PM's working quality. The PD, the project director, who's not a salesman anymore because of the added responsibilities, is responsible for the owner relationship and the logistics, because those two are intertwined, because logistics are a function of owner decisions. Does that make sense? Now, here's the kicker. The only way this system works is if you tie the PD and the PM's compensation to job gross profit, right? If their compensation is not tied to gross profit, you can give them responsibilities till they're blue in the face, but until it affects their money, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So their compensation has to be tied to gross profit. Okay? So now we got the no shop close system. Okay, here's the thing. This is the problem this is going to solve. Chasing ghosts. Endless follow-up. This is going to shorten your sales cycle. This is going to get to a fast no or a fast yes. Okay? Either way, what we don't want to hear is maybe, and we don't want to be ghosted. We want a no or a yes. I don't care. Just make a decision. And the way we do that is by, people will only make a decision based on scarcity and urgency. Otherwise, they're going to stall for time, because people confuse needing time to make a good decision. When time doesn't solve problems, information solves problems. Right. So for example, what I like to do is to create scarcity with my available measure meetings, so that it's like A, we do this measure meeting next month, or B, I can't even talk to you until next year, right? And so now I created a problem. People write checks to solve problems. So the solution to that availability problem is, hey, listen, why don't we just swap some paperwork, which is a very, very soft way of saying sign a contract, and I'll take a completely refundable deposit. And when we meet again, if you don't want to move forward, I'll give you your money back. But at least this gives me a micro commitment from you to justify turning away potential future business. Fair enough? Right. And so you're probably thinking, well, Lane, it's refundable. I'm like, yeah, you're going to refund it maybe 1 in 5 times. But here's the deal. Remember how I said people write checks to solve problems, right? Right. So any contractor they talk to after this, that contractor is going to have to get over the fact that they have, number one, written you a check, and number two, signed a piece of paperwork. So in that owner's mind, in their lizard brain mind, like in their prefrontal cortex, they made a risk-free executive decision, but in their lizard brain, man, they've already solved this problem. So inertia is what's going to close this deal for you. Right. So lastly, for part of the reason why I put the trade bullpen system in sales is because this is going to make your pricing more competitive or make your margins better. And so what I like to do is a weekly cattle call. I like to do Wednesday mornings where all potential new relationships come in, and in exchange for giving me a W-9 and a certificate of insurance, I give them a piece of scope and the drawings to give me a bid. Now, I'm not doing that on a new project. I'm giving them a project that I already know, I've already job costed, so I already know what the real numbers are. That way I can figure out what their pricing is, and also I can figure out what their level of sophistication is in terms of understanding building science or their trade. And then lastly, number 3, I can see how hungry they are based on how professional and how fast they get that bid back to me and their follow-up. Right. And that's the only time I ever will waste the time of a sub. The rest of these GCs, it's like they wait till they have a project and then they go in these Facebook groups. I need a bid from a framer, a framer, plumber, electrician, HVAC, tile, and roofer. I got a house in Mesa, Arizona. I see that all the time. And you know what the sub thinks when they see that? I'm a GC who hasn't won a project yet, and I need you to do my homework for me. Right. So I'm only going to do this once, and then anytime I contact the subs after that, it's because I have a deal. And in case you're wondering, yes, I tell them this that Wednesday morning. Like, I'm not going to bullshit you. This is based off of an old project. Get me your numbers, and then I will give you my new project. Except I will have already done the homework for you, so all you got to say is yes or no. That's the secret sauce right there. Right. So moving on into design. The airtight design system. It's 2 components. Number 1, we need to break your process up into floor plan, elevations, selections, and pricing in that order. Each of those is a client meeting. And then for each client meeting, the deliverable, floor plan, elevation, selections, pricing, you need to have a quality control checklist that you trust, that is complete. And when you have those 2 things, that allows you to do 2 things. Number 1, it's going to prevent client sticker shock when you actually present the full build contract because they already know what to expect. And then because you're not letting them advance to the next stage until they sign off on the current work, which includes a running estimate, an estimated range of what this project's going to cost. And then lastly, it allows you to work with any outside designer or architect or build a team in-house and standardize your quality, which is going to eliminate slippage in build. That's why this is so important. Okay, so lastly, your build system. The trade accountability system. We need this. This is gonna eliminate slippage in your business. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tie 50% of your trade phase compensation to completing a quality control checklist for that phase. In future videos, I'll show you guys what I mean by this. But what I'm getting at is think of this as like a real-time punch list for that trade. So so you're clearly articulating the standards, right? So basically their entire scope is built, and then all these little gotchas that are always a problem, that needs to be inspected and checked off, right? You know what? Never mind. I'll show you what I mean by that. So yeah, I'll show you like a framing example. Oh shoot! Did I just lose my? Hold on one second. Right. Let me get my internet back. Sorry about that. Hold on. Okay, and we're back. So I'm going to sign in here, and I'm going to show you what I mean. I love JobTread, by the way. It's more intuitive than Buildertrend, and such a better value. Such a better value. And Eric Fortenberry, the founder, man, like he's accessible, he's smart, his team's smart, his advisors, his customer success advisors are all brilliant people. I can't rave enough good things about him. But anyway, getting into the checklist. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so if my thing would, there we go. Right. So this is what I mean. By every single trade, you have a checklist put together. Dun, 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 dun. Right. Of course my computer slows down at the exact wrong moment. All right. So, for example, with framing, it's like, listen, all areas to be framed per plans. All blocking and deadwood needed has been added. All headers are true and level. All new door openings with jambs and casings are 2 inches wider and 2.5 inches taller than the doors or framed per manufacturer rough opening sizes, so whatever the spec calls for. All new bottom plates in contact with concrete are pressure treated. New pocket door tracks are installed level, and the hardware is stored for later use and verified. Where is it? All interior walls and knee walls are secure with no give, no sway, no movement. Right? All new walls are level and plumb. Right? So you guys see where I'm going with this. So anyway, this framing sub is not getting his 50% payment until this is complete. So you structure the previous 50% in weekly draws so that he's not going out of pocket to work for you, but he's not getting his profit until this is perfect. Does that make sense? So this, that's the trade accountability system. What that does is that causes your trade foreman to bust their ass, because the faster they get this done mistake-free, the more money they make per hour. Right. So then lastly, we have the rolling punch list system. And so here we're going to execute, this is the kissing cousin of trade accountability, but we're going to execute punch with each trade at phase conclusion. Right. So at the real punch list, when the project is at substantial delivery, ready to be given to the homeowner, you and the homeowner go through line by line of each phase's checklist to recheck what was already checked. You're giving the homeowner process for how to evaluate the project. And you're also going to exhaust them, because there's going to be over 300 inspection items. But what this is going to do is this is going to create a defined track for your team to run on. Defined goal posts to win. And when you do it this way, it's going to speed up your on-time final payments and increase your 5-star reviews. It also inspires confidence in the homeowner that you're more nitpicky than they are. So then lastly is the money management system. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to track labor bi-weekly and material costs daily to each trade phase per project. Right? And you're only going to assign one sub or one crew per trade phase. That way you can also you can also track slippage or grippage based on crews. Right? This is the data we need to run a tight business. And what this does is you also want to track your total costs to the budget costs to estimated completion percentage, meaning, shoot, we burned through 60% of the framing budget, but we're only halfway done. Fuck, we're 10% underwater on this budget. What happened? And then you figure out what happened, and then you create a system or an inspection item so it never happens again, right? This is how you only make the same mistake once. And what this does is this gives you 100% control of your cash flows. Now, here's the deal. If you liked this SOP, just know that each day for the next for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do a deep dive on each of these individual systems, assemble this into a playlist called 0 to 2.5 million. Getting off the tools, we'll call it getting out of the job site, get off the job sites, 0 to 2.5 million. Now, for a lot of you guys that are 2.5 to 4, you're probably looking through this like, shit, I'm missing some of this. Well, that's okay. I'm not saying you have to do all this to cross 2.5. But the thing is, the business is going to get more and more unstable the longer you wait to install all of these processes. So before we start doing the really Gucci stuff, which we'll do next month, which is going from 2.5 to 5 million, 5 to 8, 8 to 15, and all the systems underneath there. Yeah, before we do that, we need to get our foundation sturdy, right? Before we start framing out the house. Anyway, if you like this, highly recommend you join our free contractor college, which includes my own personal SOP I use to train my sales guys, the two contract sale and the no objection close. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below. What was your biggest takeaway? And I'll send you the SOP. Be good.